Now I'm going to take you through the solutions to 2014 Leaving Cert Business Studies short questions. So question number 1 asks you to outline 2 benefits of local businesses for a local community. So expand on any of these points. Culture of enterprise encouraged. In other words, it might encourage people in the community to set up their own businesses based on how successful local businesses are in the community. Increased employment in the area means that there's more job opportunities for people in the local area, which obviously brings more income into their families. Increase in spin-off enterprises. So, for example, cleaning companies may be set up to clean the offices and spaces of these local businesses in a community. Quality of life goes up. There's more choice for consumers. There's more shops for them to buy goods and services from. It could be growth in local services like taxis or credit unions to meet demands and the needs of the people as well. So you expand on any 2 of those points would give you your full marks. Question 2. So you have your list of key terms for the product development process in Unit 5 on the left, and you've got your explanations on the right. So idea generation is B. It's brainstorming is one of the methods used to try and come up with new ideas. For concept development, that's F. A unique selling point, a USP, is identified which differentiates your product from the competition. For product launch, that's D. So the product is made available to the market. So you're launching the product to the market. 4 is A, is prototype development. So the sample or the mock-up of a product. And 5 is C, is feasibility study, feasible or possible. Like, is it, can the product make a profit? So is there potential for the product to make a profit? Question 3 then, so the goal of the WTO, the World Trade Organization, is to reduce protectionism and allow free trade. So again, this is Unit 7, so illustrate your understanding of the underlying term. So protectionism is when trade barriers are imposed by a government, like a tariff, in other words, taxes or a quota, which is a cap on something. So, you know, government may use protectionism to grow national economy and restrict foreign imports. So protecting native businesses should enable them to expand and be better for the Irish market. So by protecting Irish products, it will be better for Irish businesses and maybe make Irish people choose those products over the foreign imports. Question 4 asks you to outline 2 rights of a data subject under the terms of the Data Protection Act 1988 and 2003. Now, this has been changed to the new GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation legislation that came into effect on the 25th of May 2018. But the data subjects still have rights that need to be protected underneath this act, so students should familiarise themselves with that. You know, the right to access information is still there. However, the timescale is now a month, and it costs €6.35 for data subjects to request that information. Other elements, you have the right to have your data rectified, restricted, or erased. So, you know, if the accuracy is in question or no longer needed, you can seek that. You have the right for your data to be transferred, or you have the right to object to the use of your data. So the solution here is based on the old data protection provisions, but students should familiarise themselves with the new ones that are in effect. Question 5, explain the term interest rate. So this is the price a borrower pays for obtaining a loan as a percentage, or return on money saved expressed as a percentage. So in other words, it can be either on borrowings or it can be on savings, and it's expressed as a percentage. 2 possible economic impacts of low interest rates for Irish businesses. So low interest rates is positive for Irish businesses in terms of consumer spending, because cheaper credit can be obtained from financial institutions like banks. So products for demand for products will increase, because prices can therefore be a benefit to consumers. It can impact your savings. So low rates may discourage saving because you're not really making much money on it, and encourage spending, leading to an increase in business profits as well. In the context of business, what do the following letters stand for? So FDI is foreign direct investment. HRM is human resource management. USC is universal social charge. ECB is the European Central Bank. And CGT is capital gains tax. Question 7, you have to name 1 leadership style. So you've obviously got autocratic, democratic, and then laissez-faire, free reign. And I've highlighted autocratic here because this is the one I'm going to talk about in part B, which is illustrate how a manager adapting this leadership style may manage the process of change in a business. So it's important to talk about change in your answer. Change is implemented through intimidation, like threatening redundancies, cutting hours in shift work for staff unwilling to adapt to the new system, because autocratic obviously is the my way or the highway, one person in control style of management. Two functions of the Labour Relations Commission, that's been replaced by the Workplace Relations Commission, but Rights Commissioners are still appointed, and they still provide conciliation services then as well. Illustrate the difference between a strategic alliance and a takeover as methods of business expansion. So strategic alliance is when two or more firms combine skills and resources, they work together, but the key thing is that they maintain separate legal entities. In other words, they're still separate businesses who return back to their original formats when the agreement is finished. Swatch and Mercedes formed a strategic alliance to develop some smart cars, whereas a takeover is when one company takes over another. It buys at least 51%. It can be hostile or it can be friendly. So it can be without consent of staff, gaining majority control. That's what it says there. Some can be hostile or friendly. Like the Glazer family took over Manchester United. Fenway Sports Group took over Liverpool. So these are examples of takeovers. And then question 10, you're asked to work out total revenue, total cost, profit or forecast output, and the break-even point in units. So the total revenue at forecast output will be your 60,000 units by 5, so selling price, which is 5. So 60,000 by 5 is 300,000. Total cost of production at forecast output, which is your fixed costs and your variable costs together, so 48,000 plus 60,000 by the variable cost of 2,000 per unit. So the answer there would be 168,000. Profit of forecast output is your total revenue minus your total cost, which is 300,000 minus 168,000 is 132,000. And lastly, your break-even point in units, well, that's your fixed cost of 48,000 over your contribution per unit. To get contribution per unit, it's selling price minus variable cost. So 48,000 over 5 minus 2, which is 3. So the answer there is 16,000 units. So there is the solutions to 2014 Leaving Cert Business short questions.